Hi guys, I just thought I'd make a small video to share my experiences of COVID-19, what I went through. Hopefully this will help people with anxiety going through the same thing as myself. So I'm now on day 13 of my self-isolation. I started getting symptoms on the 19th of March. The first day wasn't that bad, so it was just a case of me having like a tickly sensation in my throat, which led to like a dry cough. I was feeling really tired. I was working at the time. I was working from home, so I decided to sign off and take some rest. So the first few days were, in fact, the classic symptoms of COVID-19, which was the dry cough, fever. I had headaches. Low energy levels and some aches and pains as well around my body. Stayed in bed, contacted 111. Surely, of course, I was advised to self-isolate. For me, was going to be for 14 days because I do live with elderly people in the house as well who have some history of medical issues. So the first few days was quite normal with COVID-19. I started feeling better, but then what happened was, again, something that's quite common with COVID-19, it got worse. So with COVID-19, a lot of you might hear that it gets better before it gets worse. And it comes in 3 waves as well. For me it did anyway. So now, at this point, I started to get a very bad sore throat. Fever started to increase as well. The cough got worse as well. My energy levels weren't that bad. I was still able to eat and drink and things like that. So I was fine in that sense. But stayed in bed most of the day, on the internet. And after around about day 10, 11, around about 11, I started to get new symptoms, which was gastrointestinal. So I started to feel nauseous, diarrhea, and a very huge lack of appetite. And this was, you can say, the second phase, so to speak. The cough went away, sore throat got better, but then I still had the fever and these new gastrointestinal symptoms. So after the gastrointestinal symptoms that I had, from a couple of days ago, I started to get the breathing issues. Now, this is where things started to scare me. So I found myself clearing my throat quite a lot. Had a lot of build up of mucus, so I tried to clear that out, which in turn made me cough a lot as well. And on top of all that, I had the breathing issue. So I contacted 111 because I was quite concerned. I was like, well, at which point do I need to start thinking about going to hospital? So I contacted them, and they said to me, look, stay put at home and continue to self-isolate. Because with myself, yes, although I was getting breathing issues, I was still able to talk, and it wasn't a case where I was gasping for air. I was still able to walk. I wasn't feeling confused or anything like that. So that was a relief, so to speak. So I continued to self-isolate. Yes, it got a bit difficult to breathe, but it felt like I'd lost around about 3 to 5% of my lung capacity. So even taking a deep breath did feel like I hadn't taken enough air in. That's what it felt like. So this kind of continued up until today. I still have a slight breathing problem, but happy days, I have no other symptoms at all. Touch wood. So I've no longer got a fever for the last 2 days. No fever. My gastrointestinal symptoms, they've gone. I'm able to eat. My appetite, it can be better. It can be better, but I'm getting there. All the other symptoms, they've gone. The only thing that's remaining is the breathing. It gets worse at night, but I'm hoping it will go. So I'm just going to continue to monitor that and see how it goes from there. So one thing I want to mention to everyone is, or those who are going through it, is don't be anxious. Anxiety, I know it's easier said than done, but it seriously doesn't help, especially with breathing issues. You know, it feels like it makes the symptoms that you already have 10 times worse. So this is one of the reasons for the video I'm making, is in the hopes of helping those who have an anxiety problem whilst going through COVID-19, hopefully to reduce the anxiety. With regards to medication, now with me in the beginning, the first week I was taking paracetamol, which is Tylenol for those living across the pond, paracetamol, and that was for the fever and aches and pains, and Diarrhelite for my loose stools, well, the diarrhea. It helped. However, after the first week, I stopped taking them. The reason why, I consulted a doctor, a couple of doctors and a consultant, and I was actually advised not to take them. The reason why is because fever actually is the body's response to fighting viral or bacterial infections. The same thing with Diarrhelite as well. So after I've taken Diarrhelite, it stopped me from going to the toilet, completely stopped the diarrhea, which was good at the time. But again, diarrhea is the body's response of getting rid of things that your body don't want, and you're stopping your body from doing that. So I stopped taking any kind of pain medication and medication for my diarrhea. What I did do is continue having a big intake of vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. So vitamin C, things like fruit, of course, a lot of oranges, kiwis. Vitamin D, I live in the UK, not much of it. I'm Asian, so my skin doesn't make much of it either. So I was just having supplements. Every single day I'd have a tablet, vitamin D. And zinc, again, you could find that in things like red meat, fatty fish, but I was having my zinc intake from black seeds. Black seed is brilliant. So initially I was just taking some black seed and chewing it and swallowing it. And then what I started to do is I'd get black seed and I mix some honey into it, mix it around, and I just swallow that with water as well, just to aid it to go down. When I started having the breathing problems, one thing I also found that helped was some hot water, boiling water, a couple of tablespoons of black seed oil, and I just started to breathe in the vapor, and that really actually opened up my airways. That really helped. So give that a go, guys, if you are struggling to breathe. It helped me anyway. I also took every day I started to also have a teaspoon of black seed oil. Tastes like crap, but I just wash it down with water. So guys, hopefully this video will help. That's the purpose of the video anyway. And keep your head up, stay hydrated. So again, that's something I've not mentioned, but it kind of goes without saying, you know, hydration, 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 water. I was getting through bottles of water like every day. Was literally, I was having literally like one of these bottles. I would get through probably about 9 bottles of these every day. So keep hydrated, stay on top of the vitamins that I mentioned, C, D and zinc as well. And I suppose most important of all is try not to panic. You'll get through it, you're healthy. You will get through it, and should the worst occur at the end of the day, if you need to go into hospital, just know that you are going to be in the best hands possible. So yeah, stay safe, guys, and we'll hopefully get through this together. Stay safe.